Oh, okay. Ah, okay, I like how this looks. Hello, welcome to another video. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for my second video, and I thought it would just be kind of fun to do a flip through really quick of Inktober 2024. And I got a new little setup here, so I wanted to try it out and see how it worked. And it looks really cool so far. So Inktober 2024, as you know, again, if you're following the other pages that we post on, me and Taddy participate in Inktober. We try to participate in Inktober every year. And for us, it kind of becomes OC-tober. So our version of it, we tend to call Cattober or Cattytober. And so this image over here that you see is a little collage of pictures that Taddy made. And she made one of these for both of us with our pictures. And these go along with the shorter version of what we're about to do here in this video. And these are videos on TikTok of just a quick flip through with only music. So if you want to see those versions without all of my annoying talking, I will probably link those down in the description. I thought it would be fun for this to be the second video because it's a really good opportunity to share more of our characters and kind of the stories that we both work on. Granted, there are only 31 prompts, and that doesn't even like begin to scrape the surface of like how many characters and details of, you know, the universes and things that we have going on. But I thought it would be a good place to kind of start and introduce a few of the characters onto the channel, and then hopefully, you know, reveal more about all of them as we go along. Yeah, but I did want to show these images. So we saw this a few moments ago. These are cover arts that got posted on our pages as well, and there are two different versions, and then two different versions of the actual lists of prompts. And so the list of prompts is also created by us, and honestly mostly Taddy. She usually is the one that comes up with the majority of the words, and then she'll kind of just ask if I want to edit or add any. And one of the things that I did was put Sunbeam and Moonlit as 1 and 2, because in other years sun themed prompts have been 1 and moon themed prompts have been 31 instead. So I wanted to put these close together, and you'll see why in just a second here. But I wanted to share these because I like these and I love the aesthetic. So Taddy set these up and made these as well. And we went with a sun and moon theme because two of the characters that tend to show up on our pages a lot, so Lessa and Daeyun, they have very strong sun and moon relations. And again, that will be revealed more within their lore and stuff that I share on here and that she shares on her pages and in videos as well. So yeah, I just wanted to show these two things because I wanted to take the time to appreciate them before we hopped into looking at the pictures. So again, Inktober becomes an opportunity to get to like share details about your characters that you might not share in other instances, or like that you might not think to share unless you had that prompt to kind of work off of. So yeah, all of the characters that you're about to see are created by Taddy and created by me. And then we put them together and they're in like shared universes and stories that we both work on together. I'm really excited to share some of those. Some of the ones I won't say too much about because they are originally designed by her, and so a lot of the lore and stuff would just be better if it's kind of explained by her instead of me, but I will do my best, so bear with me and let's get right into it. Sorry. Okay, so starting off with day 1, obviously Sunbeam, I decided to go with our character Aristeus, and he is, I mean, it might be obvious just by the image, but he is actually the sun god in our universes. And again, I won't be able to explain all of the lore right now, because that would also take a while to do, but I also just think that Teddy would be able to explain it better. He's originally created by her, and so the lore that's been updated since, you know, all that time ago of like the previous posts on this channel and on her pages, a lot of things have been updated and upgraded. So I just think it would be better explained by her in general. But Aristeus is the sun god. He's one of the gods in our pantheon, and he kind of in my opinion, he's kind of like the main one. He's like, you know, one of the most important ones. So I'm gonna just say that. And again, if you follow the pages or have been following the pages, you can probably see how he connects to you know, specific characters, Lessa and you'll see the second one connects a little bit to Dae-yeon, but I won't reveal too much about that or like what the deal is with that yet, because I do kind of like the mystery aspect of it, and I also just think I can't explain it well enough in a quick fashion. But yeah, the first 2 days, so October was a bit of a weird month because there was just a lot going on in general for both of us. And so I decided for a lot of the prompts to try to focus on certain things. And so the first 2 days, I really wanted to focus on, I was trying something different with like eyes and shading. So like the shading in the hair and stuff like that. And in general, trying to get a good balance with like color palettes and stuff like that. So I actually had a lot of fun doing this day. It was just nice to kind of just chill and do something a little bit more relaxed. I feel like I'm pretty confident in drawing like Aristeas and Lessa and, you know, other such iterations in relation to these characters. So I don't know. Hopefully that's true, and I'm not and I'm not just being silly. But yeah, I had fun doing this. It's pretty straightforward. It's meant to kind of resemble maybe like a painting, a classical painting that you would see. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I love him so much. I would rub his little cheek. I love him. He's so cool. I am so excited to share more about these characters in general on this channel, and you know, just overall. And I'm excited for Teddy to share more too, because like I said, she's way better at explaining things than I am. So day 2 is Moonlit, of course, and day 2 is our character Danaeus. And so as you can see, they go together, and again, they have relations to the characters Lessa and Dae-yeon, who show up on our pages quite a bit. Danaeus is also a god amongst the pantheon of gods, but he doesn't start that way, whereas Aristeas does start that way, and like he's always been a god. So Danaeus, basically what I'll just say for now is that he becomes a god because of Aristeas, and so they are extremely connected in a good way. Like that sounded ominous the way I said that for some reason. In a good way, they are connected, and they are in love, if that wasn't obvious. And I will say they are extremely in love, and again, as more of their story gets revealed on our channels and things like that, hopefully that will be even more apparent. But yeah, I tried to just go along with like the moon themes, because he's technically like the god of the moon. So you have god of the sun, god of the moon, and that is kind of like their you know, thing among all of our universes, and that extends through like all the realms, because our universes and like storylines take place in various realms, and I'll explain that a little bit more as we keep going. But yeah, I wanted this to match day 1, and for it to be like paintings that kind of go together. I don't know, maybe they're hanging up on the wall in their little temples or something like that. I don't know. I just wanted to experiment with colors and practice some things and to make them match. So yeah, I do like how they came out. But anyways, all right, let's go to day 3. So day 3 is Ethereal, and I'm actually really proud of this one. I don't know what it is, but whenever I look at this one, for some reason, it exported like so crisp. I don't know if it's coming through on the screen in the video, but it's like so crisp looking. I just like the way that the colors turned out. I like the highlights and the shading and everything. And this is one of our characters, Lilith. So our universes tend to have a lot of theming around, you know, like Greek mythology and other forms of like religion and things like that, because, you know, for the various stories, it kind of changes depending on what those characters or the people in certain areas like believe in and whatever. So we do have a Lilith and a Lucifer in our universes, but they work slightly different than like some other lore has for them. I won't deep dive too much into it right now, but this is like kind of related to their lore a little bit, the wings in general. I just wanted to make a picture with her that was like really light and airy and really fits the theme ethereal. And so the wings that she has in their lore, her wings kind of get given to her by Lucifer. I just wanted to do something that was kind of like a depiction of that. And so she is a demon, and Lucifer is obviously an angel. So they do have that like conflicting detail about their story. And I don't know, I just think they're really cute and really pretty. I definitely want to share more about them because they're relatively new, actually, compared to some of the other characters that we've had for a really long time. But I'm just really proud of this picture. I just like the colors and the balance and everything. I tried to do that thing during October where you like put the gray screen over it and you kind of see like the values and stuff. I really have been trying to do that a lot lately to fix some of my coloring issues. And I do think that it helped with a lot of the pictures. So at first I was going to color the wings and stuff more intense, but I liked this lighter version because of the way that everything else stood out. But I'm just pretty proud of this one. I don't know what it is. I just like it a lot. But yeah, okay, let's go to day 4. Okay, so day 4 is of our character Delira. This is one of the characters that kind of exists in a realm that's like different than what, you know, quote unquote regular Earth would be. So like the world that we're living in, basically. So the way that it kind of works for some of our storylines is that some of those storylines take place in a world that is like ours but has like enhanced things. So like for example, you know, vampires are a thing in the universe, you know, abilities that people have are a thing in the universe. And then on top of that, there are various realms, and all of these things kind of connect together, and like that's the reason why the things like the vampires or the abilities or, you know, other such things have come to be in the quote unquote, again, regular world. She is from a realm that currently is called Esmerin. I am actually personally working on a little bit of a rename for that. I feel like it needs to be revamped and revisited and just updated. But since that's what it's called right now, I'm going to just refer to it as that for the moment. But in this realm, basically, people have magical abilities, so like enhanced magical abilities. And it's in relation to their auras. So, you know, we obviously have auras as well, and throughout the universe is like everybody does, but they're utilized in different ways. And particularly in like the Esmerin realm, it's like a very prominent thing and a prominent way that they get their like magic and they're able to use it. And so Delira comes from a place where her aura is more of a warm tone, more of a like a red zone type thing. And I'll have to explain this some other time in a video. Hopefully this is going to make sense at base level for now. But she originally comes from a place where her aura, for example, would be, her particular one is like orange and yellow. It lands in that area. Whereas the person that she falls in love with, King Hamaliel, he is the king of a race called Glousy in this universe, and that was created by Taddy, and he is also created by Taddy. So she is originally designed by me. And she falls in love with the king of the Glousies, and he is obviously, maybe it's, you know, obvious enough by the image, he is from more of like a blue zone, so they kind of have conflicting things in that way. And so she has never been to a place where it snows like this. So she's never seen snow. So the idea behind this image is that he is kind of making this little cute snowstorm for her, and it's like the first time she's seeing so much snow like all over the ground and then like falling from the sky as well, because ice is something that the Glousies have as like their prominent ability to go along with their auras. So yeah, hopefully that was explained well enough for now. I would like to go in depth with it a little bit more sometime because I do like the way it's set up. It's still kind of being worked out, like some of the kinks are being worked out of it, but I really love this pairing. They're so cute. Hamaliel will show up a couple prompts later, so I'm excited for that. So let's go to day 5. Okay. So day 5, so this is Daniel, like the character, one of the characters that was in the first video, my intro video of coming back here. So this is Daniel, and this is his like best friend. They're basically like brother and sister. This is Ray, and this picture is bound, and my idea for this was like bound for greatness. Um, some of the prompts are funny because I took them like a little too literally, or my interpretation of them is like a little bit funny in my opinion. But yeah, that was my idea behind this. And so this image is kind of depicting they get recruited. Basically, they get into a school that they wanted to get into because both of them are wanting to train to be a part of the military. But basically, this is one of the first dinners that they experience at the new academy that they are in. And so my idea behind the picture itself is basically like, if somebody were to be walking around and taking photos of the people there. So essentially, really, because of the theming of the story, it's got more themes of like, the 1940s and like earlier times and technology that's more like that, leaning into a little bit of steampunk type thing, because so their story takes place in another realm that is adjacent to the other ones that I've already mentioned. And their realm is actually closer related to like Vogel. So again, if you've been on the channel for a while, you've probably seen mention of Vogel, the town of Vogel, like Alzar Noir and those characters. So their universe is a little bit closer near that realm. I know that I'm being a little bit vague with the explanations here, but hopefully it makes enough sense. Like I said, this is just a photograph of one of the first dinners they experienced there. And so it should really technically be in like sepia or grayscale because of the level of technology they have. But I wanted to do it full color because during this time I actually got a bunch of new swatches. I found Copic swatches and I made myself digital Copic swatches. So yeah, pretty basic as an image. I do like it, and there's like some Easter eggs back here, a little bit of like characters, and here kind of too. But yeah, I just think this is cute and I like it, and yeah. Okay, day 6 is Shadow. I'm probably going to continuously forget to like read out the prompts, but I guess it doesn't matter because you can see it at the top anyways. So day 4 was Tranquil. We'll just clear that up. But day 6 is Shadow. And so this is Lessa, but this is Lessa as a child, like a small baby. This scene is kind of in relation to something that me and Teddy have talked about throughout like the lore for Lessa and Daeyeon. And my idea behind this was kind of to depict something that happened while he was in the facility that he basically gets like forced to be like to stay in for a while. A clinic type deal, but like a very shady one. So yeah, this scene is kind of showing one of the things that happens after the doctors like make him a little too angry. So this character that is like the shadow and the theming of it, this is Dantanian. This is not the only form he has, but this is basically like a demon that is attached to Lessa. And in their storyline, we refer to them as fiends. And so they kind of work together, but during this time period, Dantanian is like kind of really conflicting with Lessa in a lot of ways because of medications and just the scenario that they're in general. But Lessa is like, he's like very strong, and there's like a lot of intricate reasons why he can do certain things that he can do. So like even in spite of the conflicting things that happen with Dantanian and him, he kind of maintains a level of like control. And I mean, as a fiend, he's always like happy to do certain things. So this, he may or may not have like gone after some doctors after they did some more shady things. So is he wrong though? I don't think so. So going to day 7. Sorry, I don't want to go like super fast, but I don't want to take too long with these because I do want to show all of them. But day 7 is the prompt Forgotten, and it kind of just goes with them as a theme in general because, so this is Orif here, this is Yeva, and this is baby Daniel. So again, the character that was in the first intro video on the channel, that I posted, before this, and the character that you just saw in the other prompt. This is him, but as a small baby too. He's got his little bear. And so this scene is supposed to be the first time that Orif is reuniting with his baby sister, and the first time he's meeting her son, so basically his nephew. They haven't seen each other for like around 6 years because she left without really saying anything after a fight that they had. So he spends some time searching for her, and this is a depiction of them reuniting, and again, the first time he's meeting Daniel. And Daniel is like infatuated with him right away. He thinks he's so cool, and he's so excited to have a new friend come around. I do like this one. It was pretty basic. There's a lot of prompts throughout this month that I was struggling with a lot, just due to timing, and I was going through a real creative like block during this time. It kind of comes and goes pretty often because I get burnt out really easily in general. But this was one of those ones that it felt cozy once I like got going, but I was struggling at first. But I just wanted to do something cute with them, and I think that it turned out nice and cozy. Yeah, I like the way this turned out, the colors and everything. And a lot of these you'll see like the backgrounds. Taddy actually really helped me with like almost all of the backgrounds for Cattober, so shout out to her for that, because honestly, she saved my butt so many times. But yeah, okay, day 8. This is Prince Christopher, and this is Sin. And so mystery, this is one of the ones that I struggled with a lot. I had a few ideas for this, but I really was struggling, and I was really running low on time because I had drawn something else that I didn't wind up liking that much, a few other things to be honest. And so the entire composition of this piece is actually thanks to Taddy. She had the idea of having like the up close image, and then having Sin here looking at him. And in the original version, like the sketch that she did, Chris was technically supposed to be blurred, but I just thought he turned out really cute, and I wanted to show him and show Sin staring at him. So Sin is his like personal guard, and in their kingdom, so these two are from Esmeralda as well. Sorry, I get so ahead of myself and I forget to mention things that I actually want to say. But these two are from the Esmeralda realm as well, and in Christopher's kingdom, basically there's a lot of like various shady things going on in relation to him and like his family, basically, and like the knights and stuff that are around there. So he is kind of not treated that well, but Sin, you might have guessed it from the look in his eyes that he doesn't like that Chris is not treated well. So Sin is his personal guard, and he basically kind of takes care of things, does some of the dirty work, if you know what I mean. And this, yeah, the depiction of this is kind of a mystery in relation to just some shady things going on in their like in their particular kingdom and in Chris's particular like castle place, basically. So yeah, pretty basic as a like a concept, but I really like it. I don't know, I like the way it turned out, and I really like the way that Sin's expression came out looking at Christopher, because like that is how he feels all the time. But yeah, I don't know, I love them. I can't wait to share more about them as well. I think they're very cool. And he actually has like a secret too that he's kind of keeping at the moment, of something that he can do that's like an extra ability, quote unquote, that he has, that Christopher doesn't know about for a while in the beginning. So mystery does fit them in a lot of ways. Okay, day 9, Renew. I think this is another one of the ones that I technically didn't really have a full concept for, but I kind of wanted to just experiment with, like, again, you can see the eyes are a little bit different than what I kind of normally do, I guess. So I was experimenting with that and experimenting with the coloring. And this is actually our universe's Satan. So the king of the underworld, or the god of the underworld, and his name is Uriel. And this is basically his loyal right hand slash lover, Reziel. And so again, I kind of wanted to just do a portrait with them that would be something that's like, I don't know, hanging in their mansion or castle or whatever you want to refer to, like where they live. So fun fact about them, a bunch of our characters we have also made in The Sims and like built their houses and stuff. And one thing like that's a detail for both of them is that I actually have taken pictures and portraits on The Sims and then hung them up as like images in their mansion. So I just wanted this to look like basically something that would be like that. Maybe it's in their bedroom, I don't know. And so also these characters, much like Aristeas and like Danaeus, they kind of extend through all of the realms. So, you know, since they are gods and like celestial type beings, I guess you could say. So yeah, I don't know, I just think they're neat. Okay, day 10 is Serenity, and here we have Riven and Aaron and Louis, their son basically. So um, these guys are from the Esmerin realm as well. And so they also have various abilities. So, for example, Riven's aura would be more of the warm colors. So he tends to use something that is like closer to like fire energy and, you know, things related to that. And he's more so a weapons user. Because in this universe, the abilities kind of change depending on whether somebody uses weapons more or uses their own body to, like their hands or whatever, to conjure magic and summon things. So, yeah, his is more like related to fire. And he uses weapons. And then Aaron is actually one of the most rare aura colors in their universe, in that storyline, because he has green. So the green auras are a lot more rare because it's considered like manipulation of living things, so you know, plants and things like that, whereas most of the other magic is like summoning of inanimate things. It's like it's living things sometimes, but in a different way to plants. So yeah, he has one of the most rare ones. And the idea with this picture, so again, Teddy helped me with the background, but the amount of flowers and stuff that are here, I kind of thought it was a cute, fun, silly concept that Aaron is the one kind of summoning all these flowers in the little field, because it wasn't necessarily decided before, but we had come to the decision that him and Riven would, you know, be together. So yeah, Aaron tends to make plants for people that he likes or when he's feeling happy in general. One of the things that has always been a thing that happened to him is that he gets a little flower sprouting out of his head. And so I just thought blooming flowers all around them would be kind of a similar sort of thing to that. So yeah, I don't know. I think this is cute. I like the way the colors turn out and they just look really happy and they deserve to be happy. So they kind of travel around and do like guild work. So originally they're from an island that's like pretty remote and far off and detached from other places, but they set out after like a calamity on their island to try to get guild work and money that they can send back to, like, you know, the people that they care about and their family on the island. So, and another thing that's funny is that I've had Aaron for like a really long time and he's definitely got upgrades since I've had him. So yeah, I don't know, it's fun. I think they're cool. Okay, day 11 is whimsical, and so here are the boys. Again, you'll probably see them a lot on the pages if you go and check out our pages at any point. I'm sorry if you hear noise in the background. My dog is getting a little drink, so hopefully that's not too loud. But anyways, yeah, so this is Lessa and Dayun, and like I was saying, they show up on the pages quite a lot on both of our pages, and they're super cute. So for this day, I just wanted to do something cozy for them, and so here they have, oh, this right here, again, this is D'Artagnan again. So the large shadow being that you saw in the other prompt, this is another form that he has. So they're like, you know, unserious, but like in a funny way in some moments, in some instances. And this is another demon fiend who also has a large form, but this is kind of the form that he stays in most of the time and prefers, other than his more humanoid form, which D'Artagnan also has a humanoid form. So part of Lessa's abilities that he has is that they are really hot to the point that he can like acid melt through things, but he can also use it in lighter, more delicate ways. And so I thought it would be cute if he was warming their tea with it, because they are avid tea drinkers and lovers. So yeah, lovers in more than one way, if that wasn't obvious. Yeah, I just wanted something cute for this. I put them in matching shirts, and like, it's so funny because a lot of the parts of their story is like so intense, but they really do have that effect where it's like the storyline being super intense and then like the artwork for it, and then it tends to be like pretty fluffy a lot of the time, just because, I don't know, like I said, they deserve to be happy. They're cute and I just like drawing them happy. They're squishy. Look at him. He's so pudgy and cute. So is he. He's just munching the cookies. I like this one. And again, this is a background that Teddy helped me out with as well, because I couldn't figure out exactly how I wanted it to look. But they are another pairing that we have made in The Sims, and they actually have a whole house. They've had like 4 different renditions of their house that I've built for them. So yeah, I don't know. I love them so much. I'm so excited to share more about them as I keep posting stuff. I know I'm going to say that about like every character, but honestly, just know I am genuinely excited to share more about all of the characters. So yeah. Okay, so day 12, these are more characters from the Esmerin realm. So this character right here, I know you can't see her face, but this is Palavini, and she is actually the sister of the character from Day 4 from Tranquil. And again, she also kind of has a similar situation with the auras and stuff, but this character right here is not just any beast. This is RM, the person who becomes basically her lover. They like get together and whatnot, but they are from opposing kingdoms, so like they're at odds. But one of the things that kind of connects them is that Aram has this bit of like a quote unquote curse on him that causes him to transform into this beast like creature. And so in this universe, that is kind of like taboo. Like people who have that with them, it is kind of just considered a curse only by the majority of people. Whereas like, so Aram has a little bit more control over himself when he's in beast form, but one of the issues that comes with this shifting thing is that eventually, and if they stay in the form too long, they start to slowly kind of lose their normal sanity, and so they will become like this just very powerful creature who continues to kind of grow, who continues to kind of get stronger, and people can't, like, you know, the average person can't deal with that basically, because it just could cause a lot of damage. But they also are misunderstood, so not everybody who shifts is like automatically already losing their sanity immediately, and so a lot of people technically have the wrong idea about these creatures. But Palavini is somebody who comes from a family line of what they refer to kind of as like tamers, so they have an extra ability on top of what they use for their own auras to have kind of a thing that almost like mellows out all beasts, and then that includes people who shift into this form. So technically she kind of has the ability to like quote unquote talk him down from being in this form. And I don't know, I just think they go together really well. I do really like the dramatic aspect of their story. She comes from a place that kind of has made a sore spot with a lot of the neighboring kingdoms and things like that. Obviously it wasn't necessarily her doing it, but you know, she comes from like a line of rulers who haven't been so like kind or good, so it does add a lot of strain. And then especially, you know, when she meets Aram, and kind of she kind of falls for him right away, so she's interested because she learns about this aspect of him, but she sees like right away his personality, and he's like so sweet and cute. And I definitely hope to draw him in his humanoid form sometime soon. I didn't do it in the prompts here, but yeah, this is not even fully his like official beast form. This is kind of just like my idea of what it kind of looks like. So I don't know, I think that they are cool, and I look forward to showing him in his humanoid form and showing them together from some of the things that happen during like their meeting and those kind of role plays and stuff. So, and I don't know, they just have a cute dynamic. Okay, day 13. Fun fact about this picture, it actually got me like a strike on TikTok, or like a warning, content warning, because it thought that I was posting something that was like inappropriate, but like it's literally just Vadim in a pool. And you might have been able to tell that it's kind of inspired a little bit by like Free. If you watch that anime, props to you and points to you, because I love that. It's one of my favorites. I don't know, call me silly, but I just like the storytelling in it and the visuals. I love KyoAni in general. I think it's beautiful. And so Vadim, for those of you who have been here for a while, you might recognize him more so from Taddy's pages. Vadim has been around for a long time, and I love him so much. And in his storyline, he is actually a part of the swim team. So you know, the prompt is drift. I just thought it would be cute to do something of him in the pool, just relaxing. And I was kind of practicing drawing water and things like that, and trying to get a little better at anatomy and stuff. But I purposely like drew his chest and stuff like this so that it wouldn't be like strange looking or have any issues for posting it, but it turned out it did anyway, so that's okay though. But anyways, yeah, I like this one. Pretty basic, but I do like the way the colors turn out, and specifically like the way his hair and eyes turned out. I just think it looks really nice. So okay, moving on to day 14. This is Whisper, and these characters are Damien, and Claudia and Rodier, and they usually call him Rody. And this is one of those days that I was struggling a lot. I kept having like existential crisis about my line art style and things like that. So as you can see, like in here, I did something a lot more sketchy for this because I was trying to loosen up a little and just go with the flow. And so the idea behind this, I think, is just so in their story, basically later on, Damien does come to kind of like live with her. They also go through some very intense things through their story. And so my idea behind this was kind of they were like moving some of his stuff in, and Claudia was like making some room from her old stuff. And this doll is a doll that when she was a child got like possessed by a cute little ghost, and she like became friends with it because her ability, so these two exist along the same storyline and like time as Lessa and Daeyun, and even Matvey and Solomon. So again, if you've been here for a while, you know about like Happiness Is You and Matvey in that comic. Yeah, so Matvey is actually one of his friends, and so is Lessa. Well, I mean, they're all kind of friends because they've known each other since like school and stuff. So yeah, but one of her abilities throughout the storylines is that she can see like spirits, and she can see beings that would otherwise kind of disguise themselves or like shield themselves. So she has sight into like, you know, the dimension where those things kind of reside. She is a very soft person, so she tends to try to make friends with all of them. This one's pretty basic. Again, I was struggling this day, but I think it's cute. I think it's fun. Okay, day 15, Whirlwind, and we're also pretty much halfway through, like basically halfway through. So Whirlwind, these are our characters Vlad and Katerina, and they are actually from the same storyline as Vadim that we just saw a couple of moments ago. And Katerina is basically like Vadim's aunt. So they aren't technically blood related, but the family that she belongs to, they like Vadim and his brother Yevhen consider them like aunts and uncles and like grandma and grandpa. And she is actually like an actress or a model. She tends to do a lot of stuff like that, and she loves having like a vintage style, and Vlad also kind of joins in like that vintage style, and he is her like security guard basically. So that's how they meet, and then they wind up, you know, falling in love, and they're just cute. And this image, I really love how the colors turned out in this, and this image just gives me very cozy vibes in general, because when me and Taddy were working on a lot of these pictures throughout the month, we listened to a lot of like mystery stuff, specifically from the channel Hannah the Horrible. I don't know if you guys watch that channel, if anybody watches that, but you absolutely should if you love like, you know, paranormal stuff and mystery stuff or crime stuff, because she tends to debunk those things, and it's just really entertaining and nice to watch. So we were watching some of her like deep dive stuff as we were doing this, and it was just a chill, cozy time. This was one of the few days that was like very chill and relaxed, and I didn't feel like I was rushing despite the quote unquote time limit, because we wanted to try to post our images, you know, at least before midnight. But a lot of the days it got cut quite close. So for me specifically, I think for Teddy as well, but more so me, because I was struggling a lot. But she helped with the background again and like the composition. And I just had fun like playing around with the colors and stuff. And I really like the way that they turned out. He looks so cute, and I like the way her style, and specifically I like the way her legs turned out. I don't know, she looks like a Barbie doll. Day 16 is Echo. Again, this is another day I was struggling a little bit, so I decided to go with something a little more simple. And funny enough, the little trend that was going on TikTok at the time was that one where people were doing it with their birds to that like one song, and they would like zoom in on the birds. The videos of that were not like traumatic for the birds, and like the birds were safe and okay and happy, those were cute. I liked those. I didn't necessarily like the trend, because I do feel like some people were mishandling their birds, but the ones that were like calm and chill about it were very cute and funny. This is June, and this is Emmanuel, and this is like basically their son, their bird Nagi. And so June is also from the Happiness Is You comic. He's basically another one of Matvey's best friends. And Ima you might recognize from, you know, from Happiness Is You, but also the short comic that we did at the time that has Sungi and Joe in it. This one's pretty simple and basic. I just wanted to show off some of June's cute style and Nagi being silly. It's Echo, so Nagi can talk, and and he's actually very talkative. So that was kind of just the basic idea behind this. Okay, 17. October 17th is a very important and special day because it's actually Frederick's birthday, October 17th. And so I just wanted to do something cute with him and his hubby, Fabrizio, just cuddling and being cute. These two are another pair that we have like set up their Sims house, and it's very cute. So the background, Taddy helped with the composition, and then I tried to do colors that you actually see in their house in The Sims, but I just wanted something light and whimsical and cute because the word is embrace, and that was another word that I specifically moved to be on the 17th because I wanted to do something cute for Frederick. So I love him. These two have also, they're like super OGs. They've been around for so long, and they are both originally made by Taddy. So again, if you have been following her for a long time, you maybe recognize them. I know my style is a little different comparatively, but hopefully they're still recognizable. That would be great if they are. So I just wanted this to be cute for them and put his little ring here, and yeah, they are another couple that really deserves happiness. They're cute. And also I'm so excited because somewhat more recently we had given back their like abilities and stuff that they have. So Frederick is like basically an angel kind of being, and Fabrizio is a demon kind of being, and I just think that dynamic is so cute. So yeah, I'm really happy that they got their like abilities back because they didn't necessarily like lose them before, but it hadn't been like brought up and re-mentioned properly. So I'm glad that they have them back now. Okay, day 18 is Shattered, and this is a depiction of, so first of all, the whole composition is thanks to Taddy again. This is one of those days I was really struggling to figure something out, and I was running low on time. So she suggested I do something with hands because fun, weird fact about me is that I actually really love drawing hands. So she suggested I do something with that, and she helped with the composition. And this is actually a depiction of something that kind of happens in their actual lore. Is that one of the antagonists that's like kind of against them at some point breaks this bracelet that Daeyun has that Lessa has given to him, and it's like really special. So this is Lessa up here, this is Daeyun down here, obviously. And like I said earlier, part of Lessa's abilities is that he can heat things up, like his ability gets extremely hot, so he puts the metal back together by using that ability and like helps him fix it. And I just think that's cute. So them just sharing a tender moment where Les is comforting him about the bracelet. Again, I don't know if this is exactly how it happens in the actual scene, but this is technically something from like role plays and stuff that we have with them as well. So yeah, I don't know, very cute. She came up with a really fun idea and I like it a lot. And again, the composition is thanks to her. So okay, day 19 is Flicker, and this is Lawrence. So him and Sergey, so in her day 19, she drew Sergey, and these are sister pieces that go along with each other. And so both of them are from technically the quote-unquote normal world again, but set back in time, like early 1900s basically. And so that's their little time period where of course their relationship is a little bit more touchy, a little bit more taboo. So one of the things that happens as a detail in their stories is that they start writing love letters to each other. So Sergey is actually Lawrence's personal valet. That's what he's hired as. But Lawrence like pretty much immediately falls head over heels for him. So they kind of start having relations slowly. And then one of the things they do at some point is write each other love letters and then exchange it in cute, discreet ways. So this is basically a depiction of that. He's writing a love letter to Sergey, and then in her picture, Sergey is also holding paper, so he's either just written his or he's reading one of them. And I just think they're cute. I had fun experimenting with this one, and I like the song that went along with this one on the TikTok that I made for it. So they're another pairing that I am looking forward to sharing stuff about because it's like got a lot of historical stuff about it as well. So yeah, very, very cool. Very cute, very chill. Day 20 is Aristeas again, so the sun god. And this is another picture that goes along with Taddy's. So she drew Danaeus in kind of a similar pose and things like that. And I copied her. So I wanted to just draw a picture that would go along with hers. I don't usually draw full bodies like as images, because I feel like I don't use the canvas very well. I don't always utilize it very well. So I kind of wanted to have that small challenge with this piece. And funny thing is that the birds in here are actually literally line art from her picture. And then I drew like the some of the bottom parts like on the wings and stuff like that. But I wanted it to match as closely as possible with like color scheme and things like that. Because again, in my head, and I think kind of in both of our ideas, these are more like images that you might see in like a museum as depictions of these gods. So yeah, I don't know. It's pretty straightforward as an image, but I do like the way these came out, and I like the way that they look together side by side. They're like kind of reaching for each other. And it kind of reflects images from like past Inktober, where day 1 was Aristeas and day 31 was Danaeus, and they were kind of reaching for each other. And we both kind of did that the previous year. So yeah, like I said, pretty straightforward, but I do like the way the colors turn out. I really struggled with like the clouds and stuff. For some reason, clouds are so hard for me to draw. I have no idea why. Okay, day 21, Reflect. So this is actually based on something from a roleplay as well. A good majority of these are kind of inspired by actual sections of the story or actual roleplays. So, but this one in particular is a roleplay that's actually still continuing to go on right now. And this is Akalina, or Kilia, which is one of Lessa's 2 sisters. So Lessa is a triplet, and so this is one of his sisters. And right here in the foreground is Daeyun, and this scene is a depiction of they go to the facility to retrieve Lessa's records. And the way in which the storyline is working, Lessa doesn't know that this is happening, but they're not doing it in a shady way. There's just something that happens as a detail of the story that Lessa doesn't know that this is happening, and they are going to get his records. And this is like one of the first times that Kilia is hearing about what happened to Lessa while he was away, because there was just a point in time where the girls, like his sisters, don't really know why he was removed from their house by their father, and then he stays away for a long time, and then they even go to separate schools and stuff later. So this is one of the first times she's learning about the stuff that happened while he was away, and rightfully so. It makes her pretty upset because, you know, she obviously loves and cares about her brother. She didn't realize these things were going on, and I really like this moment in the role play. And also, when I made the TikTok for this, I actually drew like a thing on her mouth and on the shines in her eyes and made it look like this was an anime scene and that she was actually talking. And I don't know, I felt really proud of that. I was like overly proud of it, but I like it. This is pretty basic. Again, the background was thanks to Taddy. The contrast in this image was also partially thanks to like all the cool creepy stuff we were listening to throughout the month, so I wanted to make it like intense dramatic lighting and everything. And yeah, I do like the way this one came out. Okay, day 22. These are more characters from the Esmern realm again. This is Andromeda, and this is Hemiel. And Hemiel is part of a race of like kind of bird folk, basically. When I was originally thinking of this race for this universe, I was really heavily inspired by the bird people from Wind Waker. So yeah, I love them. I always thought they were so cool, and I always wanted to like create characters that were similar to that. So yeah, Hemiel comes from that. She's slightly different than the average ones though, because there are a lot of them that don't have like the extra set of arms, and it's just like the wings. So they're all kind of different. But in this universe, Andromeda is also one of the witches that exists there. So we do have like recognizable, I guess they're called like classes of, you know, characters and their abilities. And so she's one of the witches in this universe, and they are obviously, you know, cute waifus, cute girlfriends. And for Soar, I just thought it would be cute to do something where they're like flying together, because obviously they both have that ability. I really like the way that they meet and their dynamic. I think they're very cute, and I do like the way the colors and everything turned out. And I would zoom in, but I don't want to mess up the setup. I really do like the way her face came out, particularly in this picture. There's closer versions on TikTok, and you can see like the full version on DeviantArt and Kara. Okay, this is another character from Esmeralda Realm, and so this is Goylin. He's originally made by Taddy, and this scene is basically a romanticized version of the fight that he has to become Terrence's personal guard. So, in a neighboring kingdom to Christopher and Sin, the characters that you saw earlier, is Terrence and his their kingdom, and his sister and everything. And Goylin learns of basically a job position that kind of opens up that people can compete to kind of become a guard. And something similar happens in Chris's kingdom as well. But one of the funny things about the fight that happens here is that he gets a surprise appearance from Terrence's sister, who is actually the one that kind of orchestrated this whole competition. And she shows up and she's like, hey, so your final opponent to prove you're worthy of protecting my brother is me. So yeah, Hildegard, or Idle, as she's usually called. You'll see her in just a couple prompts here because I did draw her with her wife as well. But yeah, this is basically like a painting that you would see through the castle later on, after Goylin not only becomes Terrence's personal guard, but they, I'm sure you guessed it, they wind up falling for each other as well. So this becomes, he becomes the king of Hylera is the name of their kingdom there. And Chris's kingdom is called Ilvikar. I don't think I actually said that earlier, but he becomes the king of Hylera and rules next to Terrence. So this would be a depiction that's like basically in their castle of like a retelling of how he got to be the king now, alongside Terrence. And so this is another sister piece because Taddy did the other angle, which shows Hildegard ready to fight in her full-on dress. So I really like that. It's really fun. And the background is directly taken from her piece. She was so kind to send it to me so that it would be like looking really similar. But I'm terrible at drawing like architecture and certain things like that. So I edited a little bit because obviously his stature is different than Hildegard's, but yeah, it's directly from her piece. So I don't know. I like it though. I like the way he turned out, and I think he's very pretty. So okay, day 24 is Bloom, and this character is Dorian, and this is another sister piece with Taddy's art. So the character that she drew is called Percy or Percival or Perseus, and he is the god of life, and Dorian here is basically his lover, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. So the plant pot that he is holding here, Percy basically uses this to kind of revive him, is what I'll say. Again, I don't know what I should or shouldn't reveal about certain things, but yeah, basically they are connected in that way. And Dorian is, trying to be gentle to Percy because Percy is very sad about the way things turned out and the way that even the replanting, reviving thing worked out. So I wanted my version of the sister piece to be a little brighter, a little happier, because he's trying to cheer Percy up, whereas Taddy's version is very dark and it's kind of reflecting that gloom that Percy feels. But yeah, the background is once again taken right from her. I added the roses, but I wanted it to look like they were on the same balcony and whatever, so she was so kind as to give me the drawings she did for the little fence that is on there as well. So yeah, I do like this one. I think this came out pretty, and I had a lot of fun doing his hair. This was one of those ones that was really chill, and we actually got to add some more details and lore to both of these characters, so that was also awesome. Okay, so like I said, King Hamaliel would come up, and he is for day 25, which is Frozen. And so yeah, he is the king of the Glousy, and he is the one that Delira from day 4 basically gets with, falls in love with, and marries, and then she winds up moving to the Glousy kingdom from where she originally was residing, which is called Shasan, the Empire of Shasan. And this depiction of this scene is from like basically their first meeting. So he attends an event, which is an unusual thing for how far away he is from the Empire. But he attends an event that's technically to try to find somebody to marry one of Dalira's sisters. But he winds up seeing her and they have kind of like instant chemistry. So they sneak off to kind of hang out on their own. And during their interaction, he makes her a cute little ice doll, like conjures it up, which is, it would usually be difficult for him. So he is in a red zone when this happens, basically. But it is common for like royalty and people who acquire things like this in a shady way to have enhancers for their abilities. So it's possible to get enhancers to allow a user to conjure their ability in places that they technically shouldn't be able to. There are limitations to this, and so that's why, you know, he made her a small little ice doll, but it would be like a probable thing for him to have enhancers for this. So yeah, this is directly from their actual role play of them meeting. And then of course I, you know, added some decorations and the icicles, and I was playing around with really blocky shading, and I do like the way this turned out. So okay, day 26 is a very cute one. Once again, here is Daniel and Patrick. So again, from the intro video, the video before this, technically, there's a little animation video in between, or like an animatic video, but the intro video, these characters are from that. So this is also from something in the actual story, something that actually happens, and also part of an ongoing roleplay that we have with them as well. And Daniel is finally getting to have his little mushroom pie after having to go through surgery for his arm and some other areas that got damaged during something like an event that takes place in the story, which I won't reveal right now. And also you can see this here is the little like bear that he's had since he was small. And then just people came in to give him get well things and some plushies. And Patrick is, of course, taking care of him, making sure he gets his milk and his mushroom pie. So, yeah. Anyways, I think this one is really cute. And for the TikTok, Teddy had suggested Kingdom Hearts music. And I just think it fits so well. It's so like cozy and chill. And I just think it's really sweet and cute. So, yeah, he's very cute. He's very happy. He deserves to be happy. I'll rub his little cheek too. And Patrick also wants that for him. So yeah, very cute. And now he can recover and enjoy his food. Okay, day 27 is Journey, and it's kind of a depiction of happenings in their story. So like I said earlier, in the I keep saying quote unquote, I don't need to, but in the quote unquote normal world or normal realm, whatever you want to consider it, like I said, vampires are a thing that, you know, are around, and through other realms as well, but like in the main one they also are around. And so these are two of the vampire characters that we have, and this is Jacques and this is Silas, and they meet in France. And Jacques is the first one that starts out as a vampire, and they basically meet when Silas is in the military. So their story takes place in like the earlier 1900s as well. So yeah, there's like the war happening and stuff during that time. So they meet because Silas basically gets stationed in a place that Jacques is living in at the time, and they are enemies, you know, from the start. But Silas, his personality is like he's a bit aloof, and he definitely doesn't like conflict. So getting recruited into the military is like a wild thing for him anyways, because he just doesn't do that. Like, he doesn't take initiative with stuff like that usually. So he's like doing his best to maneuver that, but he doesn't really want to be enemies or like, you know, doing that sort of thing. So yeah, he falls for Jacques really quick. And of course their relationship is pretty like taboo, but he also has like an infatuation with vampires, which he kind of learns almost right away that Jack is a vampire, but before that he already kind of like falls for him anyways. And so it kind of develops from there. And this is a depiction of Silas kind of returning to Jacques. We always make the joke because in Twilight there's that scene where they're like, oh, he swam to France. And like we always make that joke about Silas now because like he low key he literally swims back to France to get back to Jack, kind of deal. And so that's a depiction here. And this, like, the background and stuff is, would be a reflection of like Jack's house where he's staying. So yeah, just a cute cozy picture. I really like the way the colors turn out in this, and I do like the way the stained glass effect looks. And yeah, again, the background was help and thanks to Taddy. Like I said, she saved my butt a lot during this challenge. So but I like the way the colors and everything turn out, and I think they're super cute. I'm super excited to mention more of the vampires on the pages as well. So yeah. Okay, day 28. We are getting close to finishing here. I'm sorry that I blab so much, but yeah, day 28 is Glow, and this is a character who is also kind of a celestial being. They are more similar to like angels, I guess, in a way, but they're kind of like a category of celestial being that exists throughout our universes and storylines. And this is Denny, and this is another sister piece that goes along with Taddy's as well, and she drew Toshi or Toshio. And recently, so originally I designed both characters and came up with their storyline that's like a very, very rough version of what I would like to happen in their storyline. But somewhat more recently, sometimes we do the thing where like we will originally design a character, but then we will kind of ask the other person to like pilot them and add their own details as they would like to, and to kind of make it just like more fun and more smooth to be able to like role play and write the story parts with all of them. So she somewhat recently took over piloting Toshio, or Toshi again. And so we're kind of working on their lore as we go a little bit more. But the basic gist of it is that Denny, because of a dire situation that happened, so they're based on like constellations and stars and stuff. So he gets his name from like Deneb. So that's his actual name, is like Deneb, and he is in relation to that star and the system that exists with that star. And so due to a situation that happens, Denny has to take the power of that star and kind of leave from where he is originally supposed to maintain it. But it's too much for one person or being to handle, and so he becomes attached to Toshi to kind of share this ability. But there's limitations to that and stipulations to how that works, and that they have to kind of come up with a way to manage this situation better. This comes up in their story, but again, it's being worked on right now, so I don't have all of the details, but that's kind of the gist of it at the moment. And so this is a moment where they're kind of reaching out to hold on to each other's hand to use their ability, because there is a lot of people that wind up coming after them because of this situation. And this ring right here is something that helps contain the abilities and whatever. If you kind of want to get the vibes of this particular plotline, you could technically do this for all of our stories. There are certain music or certain songs and certain playlists that go along with all of the different universes. And if you want to get the vibes of what this is, I recommend listening to Starset. I love their music, and I've been listening to it for a while, and when I originally created these characters, I was really avidly listening to it, and a lot of their theming in there helped me come up with ideas for them. So yeah, I'll try to share more the more it gets worked on and the more details get worked out, but that is the gist at the moment. So okay, and here is Princess Hildegard, so the sister to Terrence, and the Princess of Hylera, the one who fights Goylin, who becomes one of the future kings. That was quite the mouthful. But yeah, they are drawn on day 29. Starlight, I just wanted to do something cute and cozy with them because they are sweet and precious. I like the way the colors in this turned out. So Lavina is another like witch character character. And again, obviously they're from Esmeralda because I said they have the relations to the other characters that I mentioned. But yeah, she is like a witch. And the best way that you could kind of think of it to put it into perspective, if what I explained doesn't fully make sense, is that in like a JRPG or something like that, Hildegard would probably be like something like a heavyweight or like a brute force type fighter and character, because she actually is like the captain of their army. She becomes captain of their like soldiers and stuff. And Levina has studied to be a very particular type of witch, and so she is kind of like the healer. So in the team, she'd be the healer, and she would be like, you know, brute force, and she is quite strong. So yes, that is kind of their dynamic. But you know, sometimes they're just tender and cute and sweet, and I just wanted to do something that was a cute scene of that. I do like the way that this turned out overall. Okay, day 30. It is Lessa and Daeyun again. And this one kind of goes along with Teddy's piece again as well. She drew them in a similar location, like a beach type location that is supposed to be kind of a reflection of a place called Limnoria, which exists in our universes as well. And that is where, you know, through the lore and the history, where the gods were like, they kind of originally lived. So Aristeus and Danaeus, Limnoria is the place they originally lived a long time ago. And you know, so they go back there and visit, and this is one of the little beaches on that area. And I just wanted to do something again that was like, I was experimenting with colors. I did struggle with the background a lot, and for some reason clouds are like so simple but so difficult sometimes. But yeah, I just wanted something that was dramatic lighting, moody lighting, and it kind of went along with Taddy's picture. And I just wanted something pretty of them looking like they're super in love. And I really love the way that Lessa's expression came out. I like the way that they're looking at each other. I think they're really sweet, and I like this picture so much, the results of it. It's actually my DeviantArt banner at the moment, even though it's not really optimized for it in size, but yeah. Okay, and we made it through all of the prompts. So this is day 31, and the characters that I mentioned briefly earlier, Alizar and Noir. So these characters have also been kind of longtime characters on the channel and on our pages. And there was a little bit of a gap where we hadn't really drawn them or done anything with them yet, so their lore and things were like kind of being upgraded. So there was a little bit of a gap there, but it's kind of a bit of a tradition to draw them on the 31st, because Halloween is technically actually like what they in the story considered Noir's birthday, because she doesn't actually fully know her birthday because of, you know, the circumstances they grow up in. And Alizar doesn't know his birthday either originally, and so I think they wind up finding it out later, and then his like November 2nd, and so they both kind of celebrate their birthday on the 31st, because in the town of Vogel, there is like a masquerade event that happens on that day. And so they usually attend that, and that's kind of like their celebration for that situation. And obviously the prompt is eclipse, so I drew like, you know, a lunar eclipse, and I just wanted to do something that was really dramatic and very moody lighting. For some reason, I really like the way the texture of the gloves came out. So during this time, it's actually funny, the red gloves. Me and Teddy were playing through Persona 5 again, and so the red gloves kept making me think of those in there. But as you can tell, like red and black are themes among them anyways. So yeah, I really like the way the shading in this came out, and particularly I love his like expression in his eyelashes. I like the way his face turned out and the way they're like looking at each other, because Alizar is usually more of like a blank face character. He doesn't really emote that much, but like, you know, when he's looking at waifu, of course he's gonna do that. So yeah, I like this. I like the way this turned out, and that is day 31 eclipse, and we got through all of the prompts, so I'm so excited. This turned out to be so long, but yeah, hopefully that is okay. Oh, so one thing I wanted to show is that there's actually an alternate version of this, so I will just show that really quick. Okay, so I switched screens really quickly off off screen. That's a funny way to say that, but I had this other version where I actually have the shadows of her hair like on her dress, but I wasn't sure which one I liked better, so let me know which one you think looks better, with the shadows or just blurred there. Yeah, anyways, that is all 31 prompts, so let me switch screens and just say another quick thing, and that is it for now. Okay, so I just want to say thank you so much for watching and listening to me blab about our characters. Again, I thought this was a cool opportunity to show some of them on the channel and kind of get things rolling again. And then hopefully I can share more about them as we go. And yeah, I don't know. I just thought it would be a fun thing to try out. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope it was nice and kind of like kept you company in the background, or it was entertaining on some level to watch and listen to. But otherwise, I will see you again in the next video. And I hope that you take care and stay safe out there. All right, guys. See you soon.